Hello everyone and welcome back to round 2 guys of the Noob journey. Unfortunately last time out I could not make the first race of the season, so that's why I'm here for round 2 guys. And if you are interested in seeing the pre-season race that I actually was a part of, there will be a link down in the description guys to that first sort of race of the season in the pre-season race at Spain guys. But you know, I was feeling not very confident moving on into the second race of the season. We're here for the Singapore Grand Prix. The guys actually raced originally at Monza in the first round of the season, so probably a track I would have much preferred in comparison to this one, obviously, guys. But you know, it's intermediate conditions at the moment, and I still wasn't feeling particularly confident. Obviously, this Ferrari as well, being a Ferrari power unit car, believe it or not, is very, very leery with no assists, guys. So, you know, it wasn't looking too well for myself. As you can see on my warm-up lap, having to fight with the car already here, trying to just gain a bit of confidence with it as we come into the final sector. I'm ready to go onto my first lap of the day, guys. But this is also the first video I'm recording in 1080p 60 FPS. I'm going to try and fix the quality so it is. I'm going to try and run it on basically maxed out settings in later videos to come, guys. But this is basically just a first test to see whether it whether or not it would be able to handle it on my PC, guys. But coming on to the first lap of the day here then, guys, and coming down towards turn 1 here, you know, I just want to try and get a nice good first clean lap in, trying to basically just guess the braking point down towards turn 1, obviously with no racing line, and coming through turn 2 and turn 3 there, we actually get it very well, and then we just about lose the back end there, damage the front wing, which is not what I wanted, but you know, we still should be able to continue on our lap. Although, obviously, with a spin out, you know, that's going to cost us probably 10-15 seconds
I need a racing line
at this moment in time. You can see coming towards the bridge section of this first lap as well. We missed the hairpin apex there by about 6 feet. So, you know, well, it's probably a lot more than 6 feet in realism. But, you know, we're still losing the back end as we try and fight the car through these next couple of corners here. Down this long back straight in towards sector 3 here, and basically just pinch in the front right there as we try and get the car slowed down into the next corner there. But you know, I'm not feeling too bad on this opening lap so far, obviously after that first spin. But into the next corner we outbrake ourselves absolutely massively, hit the wall, completely read that one side of our front wing there, not exactly what I wanted, and now trying to rejoin the track here. We've got a couple more cars on the circuit there. December goes around my outside, I just get it caught on the curbs, and that has meant me back in the wall once again there, and it's not exactly looking very, very strong for my opening lap of the day. 3 spins in your first lap, you know, it doesn't fill you with confidence, I won't lie, guys. But coming into the final couple of corners there, Ben does go quickest there with just over, I think it's around a 2-minute 20 lap time there, which isn't particularly strong, but I can't really say much after my first lap there. As you can see, coming into the final couple of corners though, I think December is about to go quicker there. Yes, he does. On a 2-minute 12, we did actually obviously see him go past me, but coming down towards the line, and we are going to be absolutely miles off the pace there. But going on to my second lap, you know, I'm feeling more confident until Mortal Chemical breaks far too early. Into turn 1, I lose the back end once again, and that was basically the end of my first run on this first set of the intermediate tyres here. But you know, coming towards the end of the session though, I had gone out on a set of the ultra soft tyres here, but with how much time it took me to get back to the pit lane, there was just not enough time trying to get into this final sector. You can see there's barely half a minute left on the clock here, so it's not looking very likely that I'm going to be able to get onto my final lap here unless I somehow manage to glitch through the map, really, let's be fair. The track, obviously. But coming into the final couple of corners, though, I do manage to hit the wall once again. They damage my front wing even more. Basically, straight line this next chicane here, desperately trying to get on a lap. But there's only a few seconds left in the session, guys. I come under the stadium, and I'm just going to absolutely throw it at the wall in frustration. They're not what I wanted in the qualifying session there. P14 ready for the race there. You know, I'm starting very, very near the back. Not exactly what I wanted there, guys. You can have a look now. Teak Quickshed does go quickest there. Ahead of Die Hard Fan with Callum and Briggsy rounding out the top 4 there. I was the second slowest car to actually do a lap, and I was only quicker than Factually and Parler there. So, you know, it was looking very, very reassuring for myself at this moment in time. But P14 actually means I'll probably be able to avoid a lot of the carnage down towards someone, or hopefully I'll be able to, or I'll just get collected up. But moving on then to the formation lap, and I opted to go on a set of the soft tyres here, trying to stretch this stint as far as I possibly could, guys. There was also news that the rain could come in the second half of the race, so I was hoping I could push these tyres to then. But you know, just having a little look, trying to just warm up the tyres and also practice my race starts. Obviously, after the pre-season race, I did massively bottle the start, so I was just going to try and get used to it here, try and use my throttle mapping a bit better, and just try and get more prepared, ready for the race here, take it a bit more strategically than the opening race of the season, guys. But coming around the final couple of corners of the formation lap here. As you can see, there's one guy, I think that's Mortal Chemical, who's absolutely miles behind at this moment in time. So not exactly what you want. Obviously, I'm usually the one that backs up the whole field ready to get onto the grid. But Mortal is basically just completely just doing it by himself here. You know, P14 ready for the Noob journey. You know, I'm not feeling confident in a word, but you know, if I keep it clean through the first couple of laps, I really feel that the rhythm could potentially come, guys. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the round 2 of the Noob journey here at the Singapore Grand Prix. We just got to let the last couple of guys load back in, but it's 1 light, it's 2 lights, it's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights for the Noob journey round 2 at Singapore, and it's lights out and away we go. And we actually get off to a very good start. They're short shifting all the way up to 3rd. We get alongside Chaucer there, but unfortunately we just get bogged down behind him and Pepsi Max there, get boxed in down towards turn 1 there, but Pepsi absolutely parking it there. Not too sure what that's all about. I get a punt up the rear from someone else, so I'm not too sure who that was either. You can now see Chaucer's going back across the track. We go round the outside of Faction and Parlour. Gods Among Us is also reversing back on the circuit, so we're now back up into the position we started here. We got up the inside of Ben there, and here Jamie actually got an illegal overtake on him, so I'm going to be able to get back past him as well now. So I go now up to P12. So even with a spin out there, I've been able to make up 2 positions in the first sector here, obviously this race. But Ben throws it up my inside into the next corner there. I run a little bit wide, trying to save the back end there, but Ben nearly squeezes me into the wall, but I'm going to be able to go full and undercut on him there. And now I move up into P10 as a couple of other guys have binned it, and now I'm right behind Pepsi Max here once again. So hopefully, you know, on these next couple of laps, I should be able to close down on him. And as you can see, obviously, into the Singapore Sling we go. We are actually feeling quite confident, obviously, in these dry conditions. This Ferrari, obviously, although it's very leery on the back end, as you can see going over the bridge, you can actually try and get the power down very, very early in comparison to a lot of the other cars there. And Pepsi runs incredibly slowly out of the next corner there. We're going to try and look around his outside towards Sector 3 here. Obviously, he's on a set of the ultra soft tyres, so he's got far more grip than myself. But we managed to hook up a good run around the outside there. We now move up now into P9 and up into the point scoring positions, obviously. And next up on my hit list is another Ferrari powered car of Charlie here. As you can see on the screen, he is actually struggling quite a bit here as he misses the apex, nearly goes into the outside wall there. But coming into the next corner there, he's going absolutely everywhere. I'm just going to have to try and avoid him at the moment. He runs massively wide into the next corner there. I go right round his outside, and now up into P8 we go. And next up is Overrated Llama here. As you can see, he's actually one of the guys in my party at this moment in time, but hopefully, you know, we should be able to close in on him very quickly here. As you can see, going towards turn 2 and turn 3, we are now right behind Llama on this lap here. As you can see, we're just losing the back end a little bit more once again there, up in 4th gear here. But you can see we're still closing in on him, obviously in that McLaren Honda. And as you can see, we go right around his outside, or we try to look around his outside before he nearly shuts the door on me there. But now it's a side-by-side drag race down towards the next corner here. Are we going to be able to try and hold it up the inside? He brakes very early. We go down the inside, but he just chops in front of me there on the exit of the corner there. But I think there was a bit of lag, as he said on his screen that he had no idea I was even there. So unfortunately for me, I've lost the position once again to Pepsi Max here. So I'm going to have to once again try and have a look round the outside of Pepsi there. But that is definitely not an overtaking place. You can see the Williams, the McLaren Honda, and the Ferrari here. Obviously, 3 very different cars. But we get ghosted into the next corner there, thanks to yellow flags. So they're going to be a bit cheeky. They use the ghosting to my advantage as we move back past both of them there. You know, very, very cheeky by myself. But, you know, we've moved now up into P7 here. And Llama goes for an absolute dive bomb on myself. We just about avoid him there, but he makes a little bit of contact with me. Makes a lot more contact with Pepsi behind me, guys. But now we're now behind Jake Horrigan now in the Renault car. So I'm not too sure how well he is faring at this moment in time. But obviously Jake Horrigan, very well known around the Noob journey, guys. So hopefully know that we can close in on him and try and get past him in these next couple of laps. As you can see, we're still closing in quite a bit. He's got another car just ahead of him. So we could be looking like we could be on for P5 here in these next couple of laps here. You can see the other car, I think that might actually be December in the Red Bull just ahead of him here. As you can see, closing in on Corrigan as we just go a little bit wide through turn 1 there. And we've closed in absolutely massively on these two guys. You can see just going through turn 3, we actually managed to modulate the power very, very nicely there. And into the next corner there, December runs wide. And we now move up into P6 here. Now we've still got Jake Horrigan just ahead of me there, up into P6 already there, so we made 8 positions up in these opening 3 laps. You know, very, very happy with that. And next up on my hit list still is Corrigan, but he brakes very early into the next corner there, and unfortunately, you know, that's damaged my front wing just a little bit there. but it shouldn't really affect me too much in the long run, guys. Obviously, see, it is only very, very light yellow at this moment in time, but obviously hoping, you know, he's obviously on his set of the super soft tyres here, so I'm hoping the rain comes very, very late in the Grand Prix here, but I was actually hearing around about this point in the race here, my engineer was telling me that the rain could be coming in as little as 5 minutes, so I was hoping, you know, it would stay away for as long as it possibly could. But into the next couple of corners, though, still closing in on Corrigan there. We hook up a nice apex, but we just put on the power a bit too early there. We try and flick spin the car around, hit the wall on the exit of the corner there, which means I can't turn the car fully around again. Damage the front wing a little bit more there, puts me on the orange front wing. And Llama now has got back past me there. So one very, very small spin, which didn't give me too much damage there, but cost me a lot of time. And unfortunately, we've managed to drop 3 positions there, which really did cost me. Probably in the long run, I would imagine, guys. But now we've got to try and make a move once again on Llama here. Gonna have a look around his outside, but once again, he tries to give me the squeeze on the exit of the corner here. Are we going to be able to look around the outside? He brakes very early. I try not to lock up the front brakes there. Get the car slowed down a bit late there, down in towards turn 1. But we do now move back up into P8 of this race. And next up, once again, we've got to try and hunt back down December, guys. But coming towards the end of lap 4 here, he's actually going to come into the pit lane. I think the rain has actually started to fall here, so these guys obviously are going to try and go for a gamble here. Pepsi Max on a set of the intermediate tyres there, but I think at this moment in the race, that is far too early to be going on a different set of tyres. It's quite a big gamble from Pepsi here, but as you can see on the screen, the track is still very, very dry as I lose the back end once again. The Callum W is another driver who's actually tried to gamble this set of the intermediate tyres there, but Jamie now, as you can probably hear in the background, is raging. He's now out of this race. Obviously, you knew it was going to happen at some point. It was sooner rather than later, really. But Callum now just ahead of me here, and here's really a good chance to try and see which is quicker, the intermediates or the soft tyres there. You may have also noticed that T Quickshed now has retired from the race. But Callum into the next corner being very, very slow. We're just going to try and get on the power nice and early, and we're going to be able to look down his inside into the next corner there. He has to brake very, very early. And we then re-inherit P5 in this race here. But Callum still got alongside me there. We just hit side pods with him. And we go for a 360-degree spin. Actually quite a fairly clean spin there. Obviously very little contact with the walls, which means I shouldn't have lost much front wing there, guys. But I'm actually going to come in at the end of this lap here. You know, the rain is starting to come down a little bit more here. And, you know, I want to be trying to be with these other guys on strategy here. But Chemical absolutely parked it through the next corner there. I'm hoping he was ghosted there. But unfortunately, he did not there. He did actually apologise to me at the end of the race, but not really too sure how he's a lap down. Just 5 laps into this race. Surely the 107% rule should have come out by this point in the race. But we go down the inside of Chemical there. He moves out the way for his teammate Pepsi Max just behind me there. So obviously a little bit of teammate strategies going on there. But Pepsi now right behind me here. But obviously on that set of intermediate tyres, hoping, you know, down this straight, he shouldn't be able to keep up. But DRS now has been disabled as well. And I go straight into the wall. Into the next corner there. Pepsi nearly collects me as well, but unfortunately for me, he just about avoids me coming out of the corner there. But Pepsi now moves up into P5. I'm now back down to P6. It's like a massively wide into the next corner there. The track's starting to get really, really slippery here, and I'm just aquaplaning absolutely everywhere at this moment in time here. So I'm going to try and limp the car back into the pit lane at the end of this lap. Don't really want to take any more risks than I have to, guys. But obviously we're down to 11 runners in this race, so everyone near enough is going to be able to score points here. We're going to go on to a set of the intermediate tyres and get a front wing change here. We drop down into P7 here. You can see on the mini-map, there is no cars anywhere near me here, so I'm going to have a lot of clean air. Hopefully, you know, just to try and get some hot laps in and try and, you know, just really test my pace here. I'm not too bothered about losing out on just a few points in this race here. You know, I'd much rather try and push to score, you know, sort of 12, 15 points maybe if I could try and get a podium. But, you know, I'm not too bothered about losing on, say, like 4 or 6 points here at this moment in time, guys. We can see by the end of lap 9 here, there's a couple more drivers in the pit lane here, and Peps is now going on to a set of the full wet tyres here, and once again, in my opinion, that is far too early to be moving over tyres here. I think Callum has also come in with him there as we move now up to P6. No, it was actually, unfortunately, a lap car for me there. But you can also see on the mini-map how much we've been able to close in on December at this moment in time. You know, we've been closing in around 4 or 5 seconds a lap here. So I think December's obviously just trying to bag the points that he possibly can in this race. And obviously I'm just trying to go full out, trying to push myself as much as I possibly can. Obviously this will really help me in the long run as well, just in this series generally. But December here, as you can see, is now within eye shot of me as we come through Sector 2 here, over the bridge once again, trying to get as close as we possibly can to the wall there, try and hook up a good run through the hairpin there, and we just managed to short shift just up in time get a good run out the corner, then we go up the inside of December here. So now we're back up into P5 of this race here. So we're now up into the double points there. December, there's absolutely nothing to defend from me. As you can hear Jamie in the background, they're probably quite right in saying that December is just trying to pick up the points that he possibly can here. Don't really want to take any risks at this moment in time. But now moving on, guys, to lap 12 here. As you can see, Respawn is now the car behind me, and Jay Corrigan is also now the car ahead of me now on a set of full wet tyres here. And you know, by this point of the race, you know, the intermediate tyres weren't really any quicker than the full wets. We were basically at the crossover period, but with how far the cars behind me were, I didn't really want to risk trying to go for a different tyre here. Because see, Callum W now goes at the Grand Prix, and he was actually still ahead of me at this moment in time. So we're actually going to be able to inherit another position here. From what I gathered, he was fighting with Briggsy at this moment in time during the race here. So hoping, you know, that we can try and get past him very, very soon. There you can see on the outside of the corner there, Callum unfortunately has binged it in the wall. And we now move up into P4 of this race here. So feeling very, very happy with that as we run a little bit wide into the next corner here. But, you know, to the end of the race now, I just want to keep it clean. You know, Jay Corrigan's just so far at the road, and now the wet tyres are really starting to come to the road. And as you can see, by the end of the race, Die Hard Fan was able to take home a very well-earned win in this race here. So very well done to him. Briggsy comes home in P3 there, but I'm going to be able to take home P4 in my first race in the Noob journey after doing a very, very nice flick spin up towards the line.
Oh, Ben retired.
Ben retired.
But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new around here, guys. But very, very happy with P14 all the way up to P4 by the end of the race. I beat Pepsi Max and December there, so two quite big guys that I was very happy to beat. Now I think I jumped from obviously last place to 7th overall in the standings overall there, so very, very happy with that. Die Hard Fan though, taking his second win of the season, guys, there. But as I said, if you are new, don't forget to like, subscribe. But hopefully, you know, you have enjoyed this video, guys. Hopefully, you know, the new improved video quality has made this content a bit better, guys. But hopefully I will see you guys next time.